We got the ego, which is like a little black dot in the middle of a greater thing that we would call the self. And the self contains the collective unconscious, all the aspects of the unconscious. The hero's journey, the archetypes of the unconscious. With the ego wants to be in control. The ego is where you drive down to the store, you get it, whatever it is, right? But when you're trying to tap into that greater intelligence, like if you're writing, if you're a musician, if you're any kind of creative person, you're trying to surrender to that self, to that greater self. And I feel like the ego hates that. The ego knows if you make that shift to identify with that greater self, then the ego is out of business. The ego produces resistance to try to stop you from connecting and trusting and believing. So the ego says to you, who do you think you are to try to tap into that thing? Who do you think you are to come up with this idea? It's been done 1,000,000 times better than you'll ever do it. You don't have the chops to do this. Let me distract you. Why don't we chase some women? Why don't we get drunk? What the ego wants is to maintain its control, right? And if you make that shift into that greater self, that's when you really are starting to tap into great stuff. That's where the great stuff comes from. So the ego naturally lives in fear.